Good evening. Well, tonight we're discussing youths, employability and unemployment. Now, these are major issues, okay? And the issue remains the fact that when it is time to look at leaving school and what to do with the future, it becomes a major issue. Oftentimes, I see Nigerians aspiring to be greater things in life. But when they leave the university, the stark reality stares them in the face because of the number of students that leave the university and the number of jobs available. When I went to school, the problem was the same, but not as bad. At least some of us had jobs waiting for us, but it's not the same today. So many hundreds of thousands of students are out there from the university, not secondary schools. And then when they get to that place where they will need to work, certification becomes an issue. Employability becomes another issue, apart from the number of jobs available and all of that. So somebody thought it wise, why don't I just create a kind of job opportunity or a kind of advocacy that will give a chance to the youth to get a job, depending on how qualified that person is. And to add injury to everything, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Anthony Amuka, said, because of these problems, there's a need for 1 more year. That means when you graduate, go back to school. Like the law students, they go to law school and do 1 year before they become practitioners in law. Now, I think that has become a bit controversial, and that's why Soni Irabor Live decided it was necessary to talk to people who are capable or are interested in how the youths should really, be treated in the scheme of things. Now, what percentage of our graduates are unqualified? How can we make our youth more employable? Would these solve the unemployment issues? I'm reading because I want to get it right. Here on the show is our guest, who is a practitioner in this market and is challenged by the glaring realities inundated earlier. Mrs. Omomene Odike, and she is the CEO, Managing Consultant of UConnect Human Resources Limited. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Now, I said it was best for me to try and get this thing right because I'm emotional about matters like this.
Yes.
I have children, So, is the story right?
Yes, it's definitely right. I mean, listen to what the Minister of State said in terms of having to give 1 more year to resolve the issue of unemployability in Nigeria.
Yes.
I think it's something that is unheard of. I think everybody in Nigeria today clearly knows where the issues are, clearly knows what are the issues on ground concerning the fact that people do not get jobs in Nigeria. And even the youths themselves even know all this. So saying...
Okay, can you enunciate those?
Yes, so the issues are very clear.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the problem with the university, and it doesn't even start with the tertiary institution, it actually starts with the secondary schools. What kind of curriculum do they have? They do not meet industry standard. Most of them are very outdated. A lot of them are over 20 years or more old. I mean, when we went to school, just as you mentioned, it was easy. I mean, when we came out, we could actually get jobs. But now for the youths, it's harder because the curriculum we used at the time when we were in school could fit the kind of jobs that were available then. But right now, you have there's a lot of dynamics in terms of the kind of things the labor market is looking for. Everything is going into the digital space. We're talking about robotics now. We're talking about artificial intelligence. And you still have people who cannot even have normal computers in their schools to even do basic IT. So where are we coming from? So we're losing it. Then another major issue, okay.
Just before you go to the other major issue, what about the Universities Commission? I mean, aren't they supposed to regulate and ensure standards? Is there no minimum standards in the universities that should provide all these
that's the same thing we're talking about. Standards are supposed to be set by the commission. But where you have a commission who is not changing anything, I mean, the real essence of having the commission is to have a standardized system, just as in the UK and in the US.
Yeah.
But we don't have any of those things. So how can the school authorities take it upon themselves to actually change the school curriculum, change the facility? And remember, most of our schools in Nigeria here are run by the government. They are government funded, compared to our counterparts in the UK.
That are privately funded.
They're also privately funded as well as even government funded.
Okay.
But the curriculums are managed by the universities.
Okay.
So if you
So
have...
no interference.
There's really no interference, especially in the UK, which is, of course, it has been declared as the highest body when it comes to delivery of high level of education. I mean, in the UK, it's among the top 10 universities in the world. The UK alone takes 4 of them, and in London, for that matter.
Yeah.
So when you look at the educational system in those places, yes, they have a standardized body that actually regulates the schools, but it's just the body. But the school takes it upon themselves to look at what is the industry looking for, what are the market looking for. We don't have those dynamics at all in play here. All we have is just a 20 or 30, 40-year-old curriculum that we are recycling over and over again. I spoke to some professors who, I mean, in some universities of recent concerning this, I mean, not even so recent, even up to last year, concerning why is it that they are not doing anything to make this happen. And everybody's talking about fund. No, it's funds. It's just funds.
But every year, like we're discussing the annual budget and all of that, there's some fund kept for education. Are these funds not, I mean, the budget, is it not articulated enough to address current needs?
No, definitely not. I mean, if you look at the statistics, depending on the overall budget of Nigeria and the amount that is allocated to education, is far less than any country in the world. I mean, in the US, it's a priority, in the UK, it's a priority, and all the other developed countries, it's a priority.
Does that sound like a deliberate attempt to kill education or bring it down?
I mean, I wouldn't talk into politics. I'm not a politician. But one thing I know for sure is that if you want to solve something, then you actually have to address it headlong. And that's something that is not really happening. You know?
Okay. All right. So we will take a short break. And when we get back, we will go into other aspects of this great lady and her thoughts about the standards of education in Nigeria. We'll be right back.
The Lagos State government has assured homeowners using boreholes that it has not authorized any staff or agent to close down any borehole in the state. The general public is hereby advised to report any such person to the nearest police station or dial these toll-free lines 767 or 112. Ministry of Information and Strategy, announcer.
Yes, welcome back. Mrs. Odike is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, Society of Human Resource Management, member of CIPM, and an alumnus of Lagos Business School. Okay. In 2013, she was recognized by All World Network USA, Michael Porter of the Harvard Business School, in conjunction with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, as a Nigeria Fast Growth 50 award winner. And she also received a certificate of excellence from the All World Summit in Harvard, USA, in the same year. Now, why am I doling these out? Because I'm talking to somebody who has taken time to look at the problems inherent in how our youth should be treated. Are we treating them right?
I don't really think so. I think they've been neglected for too long. I think it's time that we stop talking about this issue and we stop arguing about this issue, even thinking about this issue, and take action. And
but when did it occur to you to delve into this kind of
issue? I mean, from my profile, you can see I'm a lawyer. I practiced for about 6 years, and I think based on work-life balance, I decided to stop the law practice and moved into HR. Okay. And when I started HR, it's not something I chose to do. I stumbled into it, and my husband encouraged me to actually do it. So I started the practice, but one changing, when I was still like deciding whether I've taken the right decision or not in terms of moving out of the paid employment to running a business, there was something that actually changed my mindset to know that this is really what I would love to do. I had interviewed 1 or 2 candidates, giving them some jobs. They sent me text message. You know, Dan, when you're small, you do everything. You do the interviews, you do the calling, you do everything. You're the secretary, you're the boss and all. So they sent me text messages with so much gratification, greetings and prayers. I was like, wow, I love this. This is really awesome, you know. I mean, that was even what did it for me.
Yeah.
And I saw the joy, and some of them kept on saying, oh, you've put food on my table. And I felt very touched. And I said, I think this is something I would love to do. Aside from making money from it, but I think there's a CS part of that everybody should look at in their lives, where you can actually impact lives and actually give somebody something to look forward to. And that's why I went into HR, and ever since I've not looked back for one day.
And then you started seeing challenges.
Oh yes, definitely.
Confronted by it.
Yes.
So what next? What move did you make next?
Earlier when we started, I mean, this is 9-10 years ago, things were not as bad as this, because, you know, in anything that goes down, it takes time, it takes a while. And that's why when we said when we went to school, it wasn't this bad. And it's been every year, when that adds on, it gets worse. So the first few years were okay. You find candidates for the clients and you're okay. But later on, we found out that for us to be able to recruit one person, you have to go through over 100 CVs, and that was really alarming. But you never go to your clients to say, oh, I can't recruit, because that's what you're paid for.
This is because the client came back to you to say the quality of recruitment was...
Yes, no. The thing is, when you're being paid, you don't have any choice. You have to get them.
Yeah.
But for us as recruiters, and any recruiter
what you
can
saw
what we
first
see, yes, it's hell.
So your conscience was working with
yes,
you.
you have to keep on searching and searching. So sometimes we see thousands of people just for 20 jobs, 30 jobs role. And then I knew there was something wrong. Then I knew this was not making sense.
What was the recurring decimal of the thing that was wrong?
Most of them, when they come, they had no clue. They had no clue why they were sitting before you in an interview. They had no clue about the company that you're even hired for. They never took their time to do anything. And some of them, as basic as speaking proper English, grammar, putting their sentence, constructing their sentence properly. There was nothing of that sort. So what would you work with when somebody cannot communicate? Somebody has no, you can't even answer the questions in an interview. How would you place that person in a job role? So it became more and more evident that something had to be done concerning this gap. With
what Anthony Anwoka has said, what do you think? Do you accept that? Do you agree with it? Is it?
As I said earlier, that's definitely not, I do not agree with it in any way. It's like having a headache and you're going to do something else to cure the headache. The problem is very vivid. There are 3 major issues. First is the curriculum that is outdated, not meeting the industry standard. The second is government funding, and the third issue with the people is the mindset of even the youths themselves. The mindset is a major issue. So,
but this is something that it appears would have grown over time. A child is growing, so he grows in the environment he sees, and he begins to imbibe what he encounters. If it becomes a way of life for him, it may not be his problem. So as you rightly pointed out, it could be the system that is the problem.
Yes, it's the system, definitely the system.
How can we confront the system to make them do what is necessary?
Instead of doing a 1 year, look at it in a logical way. How do you think that having 1 extra year of what exactly? Because when you spend 4 or 5 years and we all complain that you're churning out nonsense at the end of the day, what would the 1 extra year do? Who is building the 1 year curriculum? Is it not the same people who build the one that we're rejecting? So there's a lot of harm going, even in fact for the youth. If I'm the one, I would actually be extremely angry. And I'm already here, they're already giving their feedbacks, and it's all in the negative. So, and secondly, the economy is very hard. People who have managed to say, okay, let me have an education, I've spent 4 years, and after that I will be able to fend for my family. You're giving them another 1 year to pay fees again. So that's another issue.
That's true.
So
the 1 year is not even free.
It's not for free.
Aha,
so there's another cost element. Then you look at another issue. How do you get to build a curriculum that is right? Who do you put together? Do you know the resources? And when he said something about other industries, other courses like law and engineering that have, or medicine that have extra year. These are specialized courses, And everywhere in the world, every specialized course has extra programs that you have to do to specialize in those areas. Do you know the complexity and the number of courses around the different universities, both the federal, state, the agric, the technical schools? Then you have to build each of those, all these courses with into one year in a system. It's totally not possible.
But there's an irony in all of these. A child leaves Nigeria, has been in a university in Nigeria, goes abroad and excels. How and why?
I think it's one thing about Nigerian, we can't take it away from a Nigerian. We are very resilient. We adapt to our environment, and we are intelligent people. You see, there's something about intelligence, there's something about curriculum.
Okay.
We need to separate that, and that's why when people say, oh, they go abroad but they do well because they have an enabling environment for able to bring out those good aspects that they have. But here in Nigeria, that's really nothing.
Why is there a disconnect between the practitioners and the government? And I think that needs to be really defined. You have a university that has a curriculum that must be properly expressed or defined. And then there's education ministry that is saying, we call the shot, do it this way, do it that way. But the school authorities are the ones who are the real practitioners. They are the people who operate the system. So is it them that is wrong? Are the teachers wrong?
No, they are not.
Are they unqualified?
Of course, that is one of the issues. Definitely, you can't zero that out. When after you looked at the curriculum and you've looked at the non-funded universities and or tertiary institutions in general, then of course some of the teachers do not have the qualification. Even when you look at the Nigerian University Commission, you find that there's a basic qualification you must have, which is a BSc, as well as the teacher's training qualification. And when you go to the schools, you find that a lot of them, especially in the secondary school, that is where it's really so bad. You see that a lot of them don't have that. But I can must say something. I've met a lot of bright and intelligent lecturers, forward-thinking and very good at what they do. And they're also very passionate about this employability, and they see it as a major issue. But there are very few of them, and they're far in between. The majority of the lecturers are still the old school lecturers who have the idea that we should just keep on churning out the curriculum over and over again.
Not even adapt.
Yeah, so trust me, that's the few of them who are very, very vibrant. But you know why those ones are vibrant? Most of them are exposed to the international counterparts.
An unfortunate distraction, the lecturer and the students, relationship between them.
Yes.
The demand for bribery, allegations, so I'm not saying I'm the one.
I can't even talk to that.
The demand for bribery, sexual assault, and all kinds of strange things that you can't hear of in other places.
I know.
Is happening here.
Yeah.
What do you think we should do?
That goes beyond just the school. It's our system.
System?
Yes, the entire system in Nigeria, as our laws, is what we culturally do. So it's something. This is not something that has to do with education. It has to do with our culture. It has to do with our laws. It has to do with our political scenario and all the economy, everything. So I wouldn't even speak to that, because until the country becomes a country that lives like a global environment or has all the laws that actually work for the people, nothing's going to change concerning that. Every other aspect of life will also be affected. So school education is just one aspect of it.
This is sounding a bit more hopeless than I thought.
No,
but anyway, we'll be back after the break, and that's not we expect to take calls. By the way, I'm glad to tell you the phones are working, so give us a call, and we will take your call. All right? We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Make your event a memorable one with captivating and well-organized event center at Lagos Television's prestigious Blue Roof, with a capacity of more than 3,000 seats and a fully air-conditioned 750 seats combo hall capacity, suitable for annual general meetings, government functions, exhibitions, religious activities, wedding ceremonies, burials, musical show, and many more in a well-secure environment. Spacious car park, uninterrupted power supply, and impeccable facilities. Take advantage of all of these at affordable rates. For inquiries, please call 0808-252-8742 or 0802-282-9898. Lagos Television Event Center, a tasteful event center for your delight.
Okay, so it's a brilliant evening on Soni Irabor Live when you have a brilliant idea and brilliant mind with such an encyclopedia of information. Then you say, I'm on the right track. The big question, the way we left off just now, it looks like there's nobody to blame. Is this that we're in a quagmire? It can't be so.
No.
There are some pockets of performing leadership, performing systems, systems that work.
Yeah.
What can we do? Okay, before I get to that, I look at corporate organizations.
Yes.
They need people who are good, and they say, okay, 2-1 and above. Then you get there, the 2-1 is not even good enough. Should they retrain?
Yeah,
or
definitely.
should they retrench?
I think there's a lot of people are ignorant of the real fact in terms of when it comes to recruitment. Very, very few companies actually ask for 2-1s or first class.
Really?
And that's the truth, because they have seen that the 2-1s and
That's
first
neither here
class,
nor there.
they're neither here nor there.
Okay.
What people are looking for now is the skills set that come with employability, skill set that come with being
skills meaning
entrepreneurial.
what you can
what
do.
you can do
what
outside just your
just your
education.
Okay.
People are bored. I mean, the dynamics of the industry now, it's not what you learned in school, it's what you can offer. So even people, even as little as things like, can they see if you have integrity? Can they see if you have the disposition to actually do this work? And disposition is just, are you calm? Are you nervous? Are you, so all those little things come to play. So that's why when youth come out of school and we say they're not employable, if they had some of these courses that actually groom them in school, they will already be equipped to know that when they're answering interviews, questions for employment, they know how to comport themselves, and not only comport themselves, they will know the kind of things to say. But when you go there, everything they say is more like bookwork. And that's for those who understand the bookwork.
Well, I said to somebody that Nigerians love to speak academic English.
Yes.
You're giving the answer to
Yes,
that reason
yes,
now.
Yes.
They speak English as
Yeah.
if they're writing textbooks.
Which is wrong. So we need them to, in the interview rooms, to be calm. Just express yourself. We even want to see those things that are hidden, that are not in your book, they're not in your CVs, things that you have done, just to show that you're actually somebody who has some extra skills apart from just going to school. So, and of course, based on what they say to you and some questions that you ask, you can also tell whether they have entrepreneurial skills. Most of the companies now, whether you're coming in from entry level on a sales level, whether it's customer service, even as basic as it is, they are looking for people with employable skills, and they're also looking for people with entrepreneurial skills, because they found out the combination of that and their technical knowledge in school actually makes them a holistic, like a full-formed individual, and some of them are able to exhibit that.
Multinationals.
Yeah.
Who have to take from the global market.
Yes.
How do they fit into the Nigerian system when such glaring truths are just staring at them?
That's take students candidates
from the system here, if they're not very qualified, if they're not exhibiting what you just said now about a skill set and all of that.
Yes.
What do you think they are going? How do you think they can manage it?
A lot of the corporates are even lucky because they have the budget.
Okay,
to train, retrain. I mean, there's every corporation that's big has a standardized recruitment process, and it takes time. Sometimes you're even recruiting they're still recruiting one position for 6 months. So it starts from when they have their JDs clearly stated out, they have the candidate spec they want, they move on to the all the requirements that they require for that candidate, and after all that, they actually invest a lot in their onboarding process. So
they're
training,
meticulous about it.
Yes, they're meticulous about it. But let me tell you, even with all that, we still have sometimes the wrong hands in the
with
jobs.
your job and your CSR, which I find very fascinating,
Yes.
your ability to now determine who you will employ. Supposing you see a long list, maybe out of 100, you pick only one, and you have to meet deadline of providing as many as possible.
Yes.
What do you do?
That's the trick of our trade. That's why we're in business. We know what to do. Oh, trust me, it's a lot of hard work.
And you don't want to let out that trick.
No, it's not,
like
not
that.
letting out any trick. It's a lot of hard work. And one of the things we did was to actually create and launch our Great Jobs NG platform.
Okay.
2
What does
years
that
ago.
mean?
It's the first of its kind HR recruitment platform. It's an online platform that actually brings employers and employees together.
Okay.
So what we have done, because, you know, even if you're in Lagos, and even if you have like 3 or 4 branch offices, it's not enough to cover the entire Nigeria. But, you know, online and digital space helps you collate from Zamfara, Jalingo. So the platform attracts a lot of people, and we're building a database. So it's now helping us to actually fill some roles that we actually had to fill even before now.
Do you want to give the online link? How do you do it?
Oh yes, it's
Website address?
www.greatjobsng.com with
Great
GR8.
job.
Yes, 8 as a number.
Hello?
Yeah.
Jobsng.com.
Hello. How are you?
Hello?
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes. Good evening, Uncle Soni Irabor.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay.
My name is Tayo. I'm coming from Ikeja.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm shocked to hear that you don't need a 2-1 or a first class to get a job, because when you see some of these positions, the first thing you see is nothing less than a 2-1.
Yeah, that's true.
So how do you justify that part? That's
Okay,
what
let me
got
answer
me.
her.
Okay,
I
yes,
think
go ahead.
I think you're taking. I think that must have been taken a bit out of context. I'm not saying they don't need 2-1s for some job positions, but there's a general idea that almost every single position, almost 90% of them, you must have a 2-1. It's not true. I even have some clients who tell me just third class.
Just
So
give me.
just give me third class, because they've seen that something about the people who have not made very good grades. They've seen something like they have more, they are resilient, they want to learn more, they are more adaptable. They see that, oh, I didn't do it very well, so they give in so much more. So we have this issue about some 2-1s. I'm not saying every 2-1, just don't get me wrong. In every rule, there's always an exception. So
But experience
yes.
makes the people
yeah,
decide
so
how.
and I don't think I want to, but one of the top accounting firms, one of the top 4, the KPMGs and all.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Actually, could I continue?
Yes.
Actually reduce their mark. They have been doing this for over 25, 40 years. They must have 2-1s before you go into.
So they now brought it down.
It's now
a bit.
2-2. Because they've seen that the 2-1s are not even offering them what they require. And this has nothing to do with me.
There were some claims that said, even the 2-1s you're claiming, how are you sure that it was
Yes,
actually
gotten? And that will even be related, because for us, it's not whether they have a 2-1 or not.
Good
It's
evening.
what they can bring to the table when
Yes.
the time comes. Yeah.
Okay, how are you?
Hello?
Yes, how are you? I can hear you.
It's clips.
Okay, let's just go on.
Okay.
The other question that was burning in my mind is,
No, I hope
The
the
reality
viewer
is-
was okay with that
I
explanation.
think so,
Yes,
of course,
yeah,
I think
okay.
the reality is being faced in the labor market. We've already been going in and out of
Yeah.
that. But I wonder sometimes how possible it is. If I want a special kind of job. Yes, I can hear you. How are you? Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Go
My
ahead.
name is Choma Walter.
Okay.
Yes, I want to actually comment the speaker, Mrs. Omomene, on the program tonight. It's been wonderful listening to her, honestly. It's so encouraging to women within the work of the country. Yes, and I also want to say thank you to Soni for making this program available for youth to actually know that it's not difficult to get employment in Nigeria. It's just to be on the new track.
Yes.
And I'm sure the youth students, we're just energy, they are fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're encouraged, aren't we?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Employability, employment, unemployment, and the ability to get a confident youth that says, because some of them are they're beginning to lose
hope.
hope.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no need to lose hope. I think they need to focus. They need to focus on what they want to do. And then there's something I would say. I mean, these are like tips for all job seekers looking for jobs.
Yeah.
If you're looking for jobs, it's so easy to win a job, really. If you've been given a seat on the table, then make it worth your while.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. How are you? Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Huh?
Hi, good evening. How are you? Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just saying they should make it worth their while by one. Whatever role you've been employed to come in for an interview, prepare for that role.
Yeah.
A lot of them do not do that, and they can attest to that. Prepare for the role, understand the role very well, research about the company, and find out how that role applies to that company. So if it's FMCG company, you know it's different. When it's telecom, it's different. So they have to research about the company, know a lot about the company, because there's nothing as beautiful as having somebody speak to you in an interview and they are talking to you in the language that you understand.
Good evening. How are you?
Okay.
Yes, I'm calling in to speak.
Go on.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would recommend you calling the job. I think she's doing a very good job. She has actually helped a lot of youth to achieve their career aim. Like, I'm one of her testimonies. I have a job today in through their platform. So I would encourage job seekers to go on their platform, register, and also companies to register on her platform to seek jobs, to employ job seekers. She's really, really doing a great job, yes, I must say.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
the
Thank
confidence in your
Thank
voice
you.
saying that. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
indeed.
much.
Thank you. Right, that was nice.
That was very nice
Well,
and
you have to give
encouraging.
that website address again.
Yes,
But now we're going to take a short break. Be right back.
Thank you.
The Lagos State government has assured homeowners using boreholes that it has not authorized any staff or agent to close down any borehole in the state. The general public is hereby advised to report any such person to the nearest police station or dial these toll-free lines 767 or 112. Ministry of Information and Strategy, announcer.
Yes, welcome back. We're in the final stages of this beautiful program. And I say beautiful because there's a beautiful lady, but who is beauty and brain. Wow, fantastic.
Thank you.
But on a serious note, the youth has the right to excel.
Yeah.
The youth has the right to get the right opportunity to survive. The youth, on the other hand, must face the reality of what he must do to make himself have that
Relevant,
right.
yes.
The relevance.
Yes.
So that's the summation of all you've been saying
Yes.
tonight. What's your direct question to them?
Direct question or direct advice? More
Question?
like?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I threw that question because to me, that question is necessary, but advice.
I think when people say they haven't gotten jobs, the first thing they should ask, where are they looking for the jobs? Have you been to Great Jobs NG? That's one. Have you been to UConnect? That's two. So that's, I may be biased about that, but those are the
Yeah,
questions
good
I
evening.
would
How are
ask.
you? How are you? I can hear you. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening. My name is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to commend your host, Mrs. Odike. What she's doing is a fantastic job.
Thank
I actually like somebody that has a passion in what she does. Now, just one question. In as much as what she's doing is commendable, it's not a one-man army thing.
Yes.
Is there any advice she has for like maybe government or sectors or any other organization to help like support the cause which she's doing, trying to make youth employable, to make things easier for us in society?
Thank you.
Okay.
Very
Thank
good
you
question.
very much, yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Of course, there's a big advice, and it's a simple one too. We can't do it on our own. We know we are just doing what we think we can achieve in terms of getting people employable. But we notice that the government focuses on something different, a lot of social issues, and nothing focused on education. They should spend more time on the educational issues. They should create budgets for the schools to actually get the schools with the amenities and the education and that the students deserve. Then private sector, I think that is where I really have a bone of contention. I may be wrong, but I think they should They always have a lot of activities, a lot of budget are allocated to so many things. It's not a bad thing, social, fun things. I wouldn't want to call the names of any of these shows.
For quality.
But for quality. I mean, okay, by the time we finish watching one of those very popular shows, I watch them too. I have fun and I laugh about them. When you're done with that, what would the youth do after that? What can they do to sustain themselves?
Yeah.
And that's the question I ask. What would they do to sustain themselves after laughing for the maybe in the next 3 months? What is it after that?
So what's the
what
value?
life? What life would they have? So why don't the corporates change their mindset towards just supporting or giving monies and fundings to only things that are very for fun, entertainment, and media and all that. And also look for a situation where they improve on career fairs, they sponsor career fairs,
Good evening. How are you?
employability trainings, and the likes.
Hello?
Yes, hello, I can hear you. Good evening. How are you? How are you? Okay.
I think the lines are giving problems.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. We'll get through to
But
it.
you get what I'm saying.
Yes, very important point.
I mean, we all complain they're not employable. Youths are tired. Youths want help. Why can't we help them? We can't do it on our own. A lot of other corporates cannot do it on their own. We all need to put our hands together. The government has to be part of this. Some governments are already doing some employability thing, but how scalable are they? They need to look at those things that they've put in place. The corporates have to do, a lot of multinationals.
That means there's a need for urgent interaction of sort.
Oh yes, it's a national crisis.
Yeah.
It's
Hello,
a
good evening.
It's a
How are
national
you?
crisis. The employability rate is a national crisis.
Hello, how are you? Yes, I promise that we'll get it right, that we're going to get it right. We're almost getting it right. We have received about 3-4 calls today.
Yeah.
Oh, hallelujah. Anyway, don't worry. It's all part of the process of getting it right. Yeah. And this is what we're talking about. Youth employability.
Yes.
Quality of education.
Education.
And then opportunities that are derivable.
Yes.
What do we do?
What do we do? It's the same thing. I mean, we can't keep complaining.
So we must then
face
it
we
head
talk
on.
about it, as I said, a lot. We discuss these things, but nobody is really taking action in proportionate to the issue.
Yeah.
This is a national crisis, and I keep saying it. And I think Obasanjo actually mentioned it in one of his comments not too long ago, that the youth unemployment rate in Nigeria is a national crisis, and that if we do not do something about it, something will give. And trust me, what it will give is something negative. So we need to solve this problem. We need to empower the youth. We need to give them jobs. Jobs are available. You know, there's also the issue. They think there are not enough jobs. There are a lot of jobs. There are a lot of jobs.
There are people just employing all kinds of people.
It's just strange that a lot of people don't fit those job roles.
Yeah.
And there's no economists of the world today that would tell you that they have this number of jobs and they have this number of candidates looking for a job and they're equal. No, it's never done. There's always more than, the demand is always more.
There used to be one theory
Okay.
that the American system opened the floodgate for even unemployable youths to have a skill set of sort that gave them an opportunity.
Yes.
That's how the likes of Muhammad Ali, who didn't quite go to school, I'm not sure I can say that loudly, but through his boxing, he became a world phenomenon.
Yeah,
there's so many people like that.
There are
talents.
Even right now, apart from this federal, state schools, they actually have vocational schools, but there are no amenities there. Their curriculum is also it's also outdated. What we have done as a company, aside from the career fairs we do under the Great Jobs Energy platform, and trying to go, I mean, we've gone to schools, we've gone to universities, we've partnered with Microsoft, we've partnered with Ernst & Young, we've partnered with a lot of big corporations, trying to just infuse information and knowledge to even NYC. That was done in December. You know, just trying to put a lot of information out there that there's a need for people to be employable. We didn't stop there. We also launched with MTN a vast service because we felt that we knew that Nigerians is not everybody that may be able to come for those programs. So we're also on the go. You can download the 44001 vast service and you can get our career tips, employability tips on the go, and even job alerts. And please note that Great Jobs Energy jobs are not jobs that are taken from the websites that most people do, like job boards. They are our jobs. They are our real jobs. So it means that if you are qualified, we'll call you. But we cannot call everybody, and youths have to be patient.
Then you have to be qualified.
Yes, you have to be qualified, and they have to be patient that even if we do a batch today, we'll always have the rest tomorrow.
You remember what happened in immigration service about a few years ago?
Oh, yes.
when thousands
Oh,
of,
no.
in fact, a national stadium was filled up
That was unnecessary.
just for job seeking.
Jobs. I mean, we have hired over 10,000 people plus in the past maybe 3 to 4 years only, and I can tell you that there are modalities to such recruitment. You don't even have to have that. There's a lot of, it is testing, a lot, this is what we call pre-assessment tests. We do it for a lot of multinationals. You just put these things online in centers that are equipped to be able to handle such things. You don't do, that's a joke. How can you take candidates to a stadium? What correlation does that have? It doesn't make sense. So there are ways of doing this recruitment.
Our people, just before we conclude this whole thing, our people who are in charge need to therefore think, plan, and explore, maybe research properly to know that what the things that are required before they
it's not rocket science at all. If the government is interested and they're ready to put money into it, the NUC will sit down. The governing bodies will sit down. All the educational sectors will sit on the table. They can even invite international experts. Nothing stops us from inviting international experts. It's just a couple of them can be on that same table. We have that. We strip the entire curriculum down, and also we can't use a global curriculum. We have to also adapt it to our local circumstance. It must be infused, and with that we can come up with a befitting curriculum or educational structure, and even solution that cuts across not just even the education, because of course we also have problem with the teachers and the rest.
Okay, so I want to thank you so much for coming on this show, and also to let the world know that the problem may be there. The need for solution is very, very apparent, and we need to face it. And of course, Soni Irabor Live is going to go further to also invite people in government, especially, for example, I would like to invite, and I'm going to do that, the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Anthony Anwoka, who has made that statement in his worry and anxiety to see how solution can be provided. Well, we'll write to you, sir, if you're watching, and please oblige us. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mrs.
Thank you
Odike.
so much for having me.
Thank you. And I wish you well, really, because this is a very interesting assignment you've given yourself.
Yes, I am.
As we conclude, I want to say bye-bye. Yes, please.
I think another thing I can tell the youths, please go to our platform. I'm not selling, but I have a product there that has employability courses. We have designed, we took time, spent a lot of funds designing courses, short courses that wouldn't take so much time. It's online, you use less data. They can read through those courses in the very quickly and equip themselves.
If you
go through those courses, you can actually be on an interview and actually do very well. And you can even print out certificates because it has short quizzes, just like a proper LMS, short quizzes, short programs, very interactive. You have that, then you can print it, go for interview, and trust me, if you have that before you at an interview panel, that will show that you actually take time to actually prepare for the interview. So they should go to www.greatjobsng.com, and everything is there and is available, and you can visit us in our office at any time. Thank you.
So, thank you so much. Once again, a good handshake.
Thank you.
And for the youth out there, don't lose hope.
Yes.
The opportunity is there for you. Just grab it, okay?
Yes.
Have a good evening. Soni Irabor Live signing off. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.